Hey, what is up, everybody? This is Zero Fast, aka Cam Jennings, coming at you on behalf of EpicConversions.com. I want to tell you guys a story today. I just want to talk to you a little bit about the idea of failing and how we can get discouraged by it, how we can get discouraged by the rejection of it. And it kind of messes with our heads to the point where we don't even want to try anymore. We just walk away from every challenge, almost to the point where we're blinded by opportunities. We don't even see the opportunities. We walk away from the opportunities. We're stuck in a little world of pessimism and doubt. And we fool ourselves and we call this realism, right? We fool ourselves and we call this realism. I don't see anything wrong with being logical and realistic, but I don't think it's smart to let that cloud your vision for what you're able to accomplish. Okay? Because many times we're able to accomplish much, much more than what we think we're able to accomplish. And that's just the way it is. There's a lot of limiting beliefs, there's a lot of self doubt going around out there. And I don't think it's a bad thing to aim high with your dreams. I really don't. I don't even think it's a good idea to call them dreams. I think it's a better idea to call them goals and to set benchmarks to reach those goals, like a staircase moving on up, right? So I don't think it's bad to aim high on that. But I want to talk to you about failure, and I want to talk to you about some people who I personally thought were awesome, who failed a ton of times, right? For instance, Steven Spielberg. You guys know who I'm talking about, the director of E.T., Indiana Jones, Steven Spielberg. He was rejected by USC, the School of Cinematics, 3 times before finally he said, screw it, I'm going to go find somewhere else to get my education and I'm going to learn a different way. And boom, he goes on to be this successful director. Arguably, probably the most successful director of all time. He's in the argument. Am I right? He is in the argument for the most successful director of all time. Tim Ferris. He was rejected 25 times before he got the 4-Hour Workweek published. How many of you would have just probably given up after time 12? Maybe a lot of you, if you had a wife or a girlfriend who told you you just needed to do something else, it was time to move on. Well, he got rejected 25 times, and finally he got it published. Now in our circle, in the circles we run in of internet marketing and business, man, that's a really famous book. We all love that 4-Hour Workweek book, but it was rejected 25 times before he finally got it published. Pretty cool. Tim Westergren approached 300 investors before receiving funding for Pandora. You guys know about Pandora? The little app we all put on our tablets and smartphones so we can listen to, kind of like Pandora radio, and we put in a few bands that we love, and Pandora just automatically brings back this giant radio station full of music that we've never heard about, but it highly relates to the artists that we really love. So we love this thing, right? We love this musical algorithm that introduces us to new music that we can experience and we've never heard before. It's a fantastic app, right? It's a fantastic little program, Pandora. But, Westergren, he approached 300 investors, 300 people, 300 companies said, nah, no thanks. I'm not invested in that. That sounds like a big tank that's going to sink in the ocean to me. Till finally he got funding for it, right? Colonel Sanders, right? He was turned down 1,009 times before finally selling his fried chicken recipe. You guys know about Colonel Sanders, the founder of KFC, right? 1,009 times this guy was turned down. What makes that story even more interesting is he was like 65 years old when he was doing that. He started all that stuff when he was in his 60s, man. Most people are done with trying new stuff when they're in their 60s. He founded KFC when he was in his 60s. Are you kidding me? He was collecting Social Security. He went from collecting Social Security, being broke, with a junky car, to, being turned down 1,009 times and then going on to sell his fried chicken recipe and founding KFC. It was amazing. Sylvester Stallone was rejected 1,500 times trying to sell his script and himself in Rocky. That was his script. He was rejected 1,500 times before he finally got someone to believe in his script, Rocky. Possibly one of the most famous movies of all time. And the man was turned down 1,500 times. Think about that for a second. Can you imagine? Think about it. Let's look at that in terms of asking girls out. Can you imagine if you were turned down 1,500 times before you finally got a girl to go out with you on a date? 1,500 times. Can you imagine? That's what Sylvester Stallone did. It's amazing. James Dyson, you guys know the guy who created Dyson, those really high-end vacuum cleaners that cost a lot of money. James Dyson created 5,126 failed prototypes before he finally came up with the version of the Dyson that launched his company, that made him a very successful, and that people know and love to this day. Right, but he messed up over 5,000 times before he ended on a note that actually propelled his company into success. It's amazing. And this is my personal favorite. Thomas Edison failed 10,000 times before he finally came up with a successful prototype of the light bulb, right? And Thomas Edison didn't even look at it like failing, right? He looked at it like, well, these are ways that I forget how he actually worded it, but it was basically, he really didn't look at them like failures, right? He was learning something basically every time something didn't work. He said, I think he said, well, I know how not to do it now. And essentially he was saying, hey, I've learned something from this failure. It's not really a failure. I'm one step closer. I've put another piece to the puzzle, right? I've put another piece to the puzzle. These prototypes that I'm doing aren't really failures. It's me trying to piece this giant jigsaw puzzle together. And I get a little bit more information every time I do this, right? And then after 10,000 times, he ended with a light bulb that worked. Now I want you guys to understand something about Thomas Edison. He was ridiculed by the local news. He was ridiculed by the papers. He was ridiculed by his community. They thought he was nuts for messing with this thing. They thought he was wasting his time. So you gotta understand, he didn't have the support of his community, right? And it's interesting, but he had a vision and he knew what he wanted to do, and he just kept on and he just kept on and he just kept on, and finally, boom, he's got a light bulb. And we're all thankful, aren't we? We're all thankful because we all love light, right? So what am I trying to say to you? How many times will you try before you win? Because my thing is this, it's probably going to take more than once. You're probably going to try quite a few more times than just once before you actually win and you actually achieve what you're trying to do. I think that eventually everybody wins if you try long enough and you put enough pieces together into that puzzle. But that's just the way it is. You're putting pieces together into a puzzle until you can figure that thing out. And that's generally going to take more than one time. So how many times will you try before you win? I just launched a new course. It's called Affiliate Command 2017. Right? It's live right now. I'll put a link in the description for this video. And I'm not lying to you. I'm telling you the absolute truth when I say this is the best course that I've ever created. I've put my heart, my soul, my everything into this course. I've worked hard to teach everything that I know inside this course. I've attached 11 weeks of coaching to this course. So that's right, when you buy this course, you will get 11 weeks of group coaching, right? So it's a huge puzzle piece in your puzzle if you're trying to make online money right now. If you're trying to make money online, you're trying to get out of your job or quit your job or work for yourself with a home-based internet business, my course is a giant puzzle piece to get you there. And that's how I want you to look at it. I don't mean to sound arrogant, but that's the way it is. So anyways, that's all I got. I hope this video has been helpful to you. We all fail. Some of the greatest people of our society have failed multiple times before they achieve success. You're not going to be any different. You're going to hit failures. It's all like puzzle pieces, and you're trying to fit it together to figure things out. So anyways, if this video has been helpful to you, smash that like button. Share this with someone you think might be helped by it. And make sure you click that link and check out the sales page for Affiliate Command 2017. I think you'll really enjoy it. Alright, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.